Hey Pam, so nice to have you here today, and the sun is shining, so all is great. So without further ado, I want to jump straight in and ask you to tell us who you are, what you do, and how you can help the ladies in my group.
Oh, fantastic. Thank you. Good morning, everyone, or good day, wherever you're watching. So I am Pam Kent. I am a clinical psychologist and certified manifestation coach. And I'm on a little bit of a journey through this perimenopause, menopause myself. So what I am going to be bringing to the table to share with you ladies is techniques that can really help you through that journey, but actually also help you fulfill living your best life. And actually get out of that, what I call my slump that I was in for a long time when I didn't even really understand what I was going through. So I'm going to bring you loads of techniques and strategies to help you cope with those day-to-day struggles through the menopause period.
I love this, and I'm really big into manifestation myself, so I'm really happy to have you in the group doing this. So tell us a little bit about yourself. What led you down this path? What's your backstory, Pam?
Oh, fantastic, Jo. Thank you. So my backstory is I actually came from working with corporate companies. My sales career had, or my, if you like, my career from like leaving, school, university, right the way through was working in corporate. I done all my qualifications to become a clinical psychologist. I worked in a lot of things around trauma. Then I went into sales. So I've kind of been in that clinical sales environment all the time, but I naturally was leading people. So it kind of grew its own direction, if you like. So one of the things that I found is when I was in the clinical side is I very much like facts, Jo. So when people talk to me about manifestation, and I didn't realize it was part of my life so long ago, I kind of think, and many people would have probably seen a post I dropped in the group, people tend to think it's a little bit woo-woo. Now,
Yeah.
I have got this spiritual side to me, and I don't mean to the extreme of, it's really extreme because I am very, very clinically driven. So I like fact. And one of the things I done was I kind of came through that corporate career. I'd been in that world for 25 years. And there was kind of, I guess, that transitional life. My children were growing up. And I was like, I'm selling my time here. And although I loved what I'd done, I felt I had so much more to give, because when you work in that employed environment, for many, many people, they will hopefully relate to this, but it's that you can only be you and give everything you've got to what fits to the company's agenda. And I knew I had so much more to give. So it kind of took me off a little bit sporadically in the direction of network marketing. And I kind of one day just decided, yep, this was me. I seen the vision. I seen how I could be authentically myself. And I kind of walked away from a 6-figure corporate career and went into network marketing, and everybody thought I had lost my marbles. They were like, Pam, what are you doing? Because I lived from the outside. People were like, she drives a really nice car. She's got all the holidays. She's got the big income, lives in a nice house. And actually, the inside job is very unfulfilled, because I felt as though like I kept hitting this ceiling, and I'm like, I want to keep going. So when I saw the network marketing industry, I was like, oh, the sky's the limit. So I kind of went off that way. Now, what I didn't realize probably until maybe over the last few years is I already was on a journey with manifestation. I am the person that has a ritual when I get in my car and I'm going to, the supermarket on a Saturday, which I avoid at all costs. But if I'm going, I am the person that goes, I'm having a parking space right by the door, or I, go into town on a busy day and I'm like, I'm having a parking space. And it just always came to be. So my language has always been following that. I've always been big on gratitude, but I've also kind of linked that with, I weaved. I think I've got somebody else's teeth today. That was something that was, I managed to weave into a lot of the sales training I delivered for people in my corporate career. So I hadn't realized.
Label it manifestation. You were just
exactly.
Yeah,
exactly. And Jo, you probably do this yourself. You probably have little rituals that you do where, you maybe take a point in the day where you go, I'm really grateful for, or you just find yourself saying thank you for all the little things. And actually, guys, that's one tip I will give is a really powerful way to shift that slump, shift that energy, is just excessively use the words thank you to people. And I don't mean in a sarcastic way, because sometimes we're all guilty of it. We can go, thanks for that. But saying thank you and having that gratitude is something that's been like in me for like as long as I can remember. And then I probably got to, even in my network marketing business, which was thriving, really growing, But there was something, and I used to talk a lot to the team about, you know, energy is everything. What you put out comes back. People talk a lot about, oh, you know, oh, don't do that. That's karma. It'll come back and haunt you. But, you know, people think, well, they believe in karma, but it's a negative thing.
I believe the negative thing.
But they don't realize that energy going out good comes back in the same way. Karma's two-sided.
Yeah.
So I kind of then went down the road of, right, I was talking about this a lot. I was seeing it making some big shifts in my life, and people I was sharing it with, you know, leaders that I was coaching at the time, I was like, you know, these guys are seeing massive shifts. But I think I kind of hit a wall, and I guess I entered, didn't even realize, Joe, I was in perimenopause for many, many years. I just thought it was
many people, including myself.
Yeah, it was. I just thought it was life. You know, things change. You know, you have all the emotions when your family's grown up. And I kind of thought to myself, right, I hit back in 2023. I have always been in our family and in my circles the strong person. The therapist in me comes out to guide and help everybody. Okay. And I kind of hit a wall. We'd had some real tragic grief in the family. And it was kind of the last of myself and my partner's parents had gone. And it really hit me, Joe. And I was like, right, I didn't realize then that it was a lot of it was driven by my journey of menopause as well. I had been back and forward looking for the expertise, you know, same. I see a lot of it in your community group, people saying, you know, I've been to GP, and I was kind of having those battles as well. And I remember this point of being almost on my knees in tears, thinking something's got to change. I didn't know if it was my hormones. I didn't know if I was unfulfilled again. And I kind of really went deep. I went dark for a little while, Joe, because I was like, I don't really know how to pull myself out of this. I'm great at helping other people, but I don't know how to pull myself out of it. And then I came across an incredible woman, somebody you'll be familiar with is Karen. I came across an incredible woman who actually I came a little bit of a stalker, a little bit obsessed, because her way of teaching manifest, I'm like, I do that. So suddenly I decided to embark on it.
Group.
Yeah. Say that again, Joe, sorry.
Karen's in my group.
Yeah, and Karen is absolutely incredible, and I love everything about it. It's a little bit, I think it's a little bit of a girl crush for me, to be honest. At 51, I never thought I'd say that, but she's just got, what I love is she teaches the how-to. And that for me was, so I embarked on a journey with Karen and really to learn a lot of the behind the scenes. But then I realized how much I actually knew. So it almost became a little bit of an obsession, a new passion. And what I realized is the power it has to help so many other women, not just women, but predominantly women is who I work with. And because I've got the clinical background, I am very wired to, like, the science has to stack. It's not just that, you know, put it out there and hope for the best. It's got to be, you know, understand that, yes, you've got to set the intention, but it's also a little bit of, right, what are the steps that you need to take to align to make sure that those manifestations come? And it's became a little bit of I guess, a new project that just has become like my absolute passion, Joe. So, I mean, I can talk on the subject for weeks, never mind days.
I love it. And that's why I want to start my podcast. So I talk to all you coaches more in depth about all the stuff that you do and why you do it and stuff. So that's one of my projects coming. And yeah, I love Karen as well. And I was in her membership for a little while. And everything about what you said, when you connect the woo-woo stuff to the science, it just, things happen, don't they? It just, it happens. Yeah. When you see it happening, and when you do turn that lifestyle into the gratitude and everything that you just said, you do feel better physically, mentally. Things start happening, and you're going to be a great source in my group, and I'm so happy to have you there. It really makes me happy that someone because people might think, well, what's manifestation coach got to do with wellness and perimenopause? But exactly all those things you just said.
And Joe, one of the things I think, and if I come from a clinical level, and obviously, my clinical experiences, it took me 20 years to build the experience that I've got. So for me, it's a little bit like, I now understand, because of the menopause journey I've been on, I'm like, okay, so one of the things is it plays absolute chaos with our emotions. Well, one of the things that people can, and for some women, they'll be like, yeah, I hear you say it, but that's not how I'm feeling. But one of the things for me is an emotion is literally something that is like an explosion, a chemical explosion in your body. It will pass in 90 seconds if you don't react to it. It will change your life completely, and not necessarily always a positive response if you react. So what I want to bring is techniques that help women go, okay, I recognize that right now this situation is not given, is giving me that feeling. So recognizing the feeling first of all, but then also giving you some strategies and techniques on how you can manage that so that you don't feel that constant. I remember times, Jo, where I remember thinking, oh God, my poor partner. I'm like, I would question why he was still around, because I was foul. There was times where I was just like, this made me a crazy person. But obviously the journey I've been on, I'm like, right, now I recognize that sign, I can manage that. Because when you understand that the clinician side of it, that emotional response is literally tiny, but we can explode it to anything. And that's not even just menopause, that's in general life, isn't it?
Yeah, and then just menopause just makes it so much bigger, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And again, there's, everybody's situation on that journey is different. On my circle of friends, so I am just over the 50 mark, 51, Jo, and a lot of the friends that I've got are in that mid-40s to a little bit older than me. So we're all at different phases, but now I can teach strategies that kind of help them, little things they can do daily to bring a little bit of inner calm. To recognize, okay, this is a day where my hormones are, yes, we all know there's interventions available. Some use them, some don't. But again, it's, it's knowing that those interventions are there, but also what you do for yourself. And I know you're really passionate about, your community group's incredible, Jo. I mean, it's, as I said to you, when we were just coming on live, one of the things I was drawn towards was the compassion, the understanding, the area to, be able to, share experiences, but also to get support and not just be, sitting in the corner rocking like some of us do in this stage of life.
Not to be judged, because a lot of women feel judged for the way they feel and feel guilt and feel like they're alone. And that's the community I want to build, or I have built, I'm very proud of, is that the ladies aren't judged in there and they can ask anything. And now we have all you beautiful coaches in there to help them even more. So I'm really grateful for that.
Yeah. And Jo, I mean, some of the stuff that I've, just to give the ladies some kind of, some of the stuff that I've done, so I still have connections in that corporate world. So I do a lot of wellness, from a manifestation mindset. It probably wears a different badge when I go to corporate companies. I still work with people like Facebook now, Google, Coca-Cola, these kind of people. And again, I'm going into these workplaces trying to provide a little bit more education so that they kind of have provisions in place for women that are going through this stage of life. But it isn't just women either, Jo. We must acknowledge men go through hormonal change as well. Maybe not to the same extent, but
well, we call it midlife crisis. Go out and buy a new car, don't we? Sort yourself out. And that's the time when a lot of men as well kind of have affairs and flee the nest because they're lacking something. So they look for something to try and make themselves feel better. And they're not, and then usually their wives go through perimenopause. So that's a whole nother subject that
and there's some honest conversations that need to happen there that are not easy to have either. Sometimes
I walked out my husband myself. We were so close to me leaving, packing up and going. And we talk about it now. I'm like, I can't believe that we went through that, because now we're closer than ever. And sometimes it is a time to walk away as well. If you're battling through a relationship that is not going anywhere, but it's knowing when you should walk away and when really, it's not us, it's stuff that's going on with us and we need the support through it. So there's so many things. This is why we need this podcast, because there's
and I think, and you know what, Jo, I think there's also for women, and again, particularly the women in your community, I think one of the things that I see time and time again, both in therapies and also in day-to-day life, is at this stage of life, women don't necessarily see the value that they bring. They don't understand their own true worth. And one of the things that I love and the empowerment that manifestation gives is it's like, right, what is that ideal life to you? What does that look like? And I don't mean, stick it on a board and hope that it happens and, do do some pretty pictures, and we're going to teach you how you can take one area of your life and actually, you know, make that thing what you want it to be. And it might be financial, it might be relationships, it could be any number of things, but want to be able to give you a place where you can go, right, this is an area of my life I'm really unhappy. It's affecting everything else. How do I make improvements there with little changes? We're not talking about massive leaps, because it's that compound effect of little changes that will massively change, you know, their overall perception of the value they place in themselves. Because we as women are blooming incredible. I think we should all wear capes.
I think we should as well. I'm totally with you on that one. Excellent. Well, I love your energy, and the group's going to be all the better for it. So thank you, my love.
Yeah.
And enjoy the rest of the day. I'm going to upload this onto YouTube, and then I'll pop it into the group so people can come back and watch it.
Yeah. And Jo, can I throw something else in just to throw in the mix, and something that I haven't? Obviously, I did say to you, you know, if people want to connect with me, you know, they'll find me on Facebook predominantly. I dabble a bit on Instagram, but you'll find me on Facebook. That's where my community tends to be. But the other thing is, I am going to drop, I'm just in the kind of final stages of putting together a little unique thing for the menopause group, where it will be some 5-step quick techniques, things that you can do today. So look out for that post dropping in over the next few days, where it'll be something that you can just download a freebie and start making those slight changes, so that obviously, you know, you can learn a little bit more about how manifestation in a non-woo-woo way can help change things for you.
And we can put your Facebook link above this video as well, or your Instagram. Whichever link is best, or both, either or.
Facebook definitely at this stage, but watch this space, Jo, because there is about to be a big launch in this spring. So I've got some very exciting things planned, but again, it's just been that I want to work with people more than I want to, you know, have the big show. So I've been doing the work with people, and then obviously, you know, things like the programs and the stuff that I can help people with is all going to come on the back of that now.
Brilliant. Exciting path ahead.
Thanks, Jo.
Love, and chat to you soon. Take care.
Thanks for having me. I'll see you soon. Thanks, Jo. Bye now.